Okay, so I did use all my bronzers. I do think that I have decided that face palettes are not going to come back. So I'm just exclusively going to pull out bronzers. And then I did run through all of my primers, so I'm going to pull those out too. Okay, what I think I'm going to do is, because I've run through these categories, I need to find like a different box to keep these in. And then I will cycle through these again, but I want to keep them out of my main drawers because I want to see how empty I can get my drawers by usage by the end of this. So I'm gonna go find another one of those and then we'll get started. Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is hautemesstom and thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you are new here, on my channel, we spend time being critical not only of new makeup releases, but also our current makeup collection. This is part of my messmas series where I am trying to use every item of makeup I own in December. So every time I use an item, it gets removed from my vanity drawer and put into a box, which is now on the floor on this side, which it hasn't been, but it is over here. There is footage of me, there'll be footage of me showing you the box at the end of the video, and then also showing you my vanity drawers at the end of the video so you can see how much I've cycled through. The other caveat of that is that if I've used up all of one type of item. So I've used, for example, I just used up all of my bronzers. My bronzers have now moved into a different box in which I can reach for them and use them, but then they'll go back into the original box once I've used them a second time because we're trying to use everything as many times as we can. So that's a new and fast rule that I just made, but nothing is going back into the vanity at this point unless it's something I use regularly, like so black eyeliner, and I only have 2 of them, and eye primers and whatever. So at the end, when I show you my drawers, I will remove everything that I have used at least once. So the goal is to have empty drawers. I don't know that's going to be possible with the amount of days we have left. So if that sounds good to you, if loving your collection the way it is sounds good to you, I would love to have you subscribe, and we appreciate likes on this channel. I also have a Patreon if you are interested in additional content from me. It's down in the links below, so go ahead and check that out if you are interested. I come with an idea. Like I have an idea. I don't know if it's gonna work. So we're gonna try it together, and if it doesn't, we can just scrap it and then start all over and do something much simpler. So, because there's twofold. I have a bunch of items in front of me that I intend on using today. The first and foremost, this is not something I'm planning on doing, but I did throw up a poll on my Instagram and asked people what palette they would like me to use today. I don't know if I'm going to continue doing that, but my Instagram is in the link tree that's in my description box below if you want to follow me on Instagram. So you can vote in these, because maybe I will. Tonight I will put up options. So I have an idea with this. I don't know if it's going to work. That's more so where I'm landing. So I have my cellar water here, and I have some pointy Q-tips, pointy cotton swabs. Is that the official term? Cotton applicators. That's what it says on there. And so I'm gonna do what I think I'm going to do is I keep calling it my signature, but I don't want to call it. But my favorite eye shape. Do that. Take some micellar water. That's a joke from a podcast that I'm sure no one listened to. Micellar, Glow Up podcast. It had Esther Pavinsky and her friend, who I can't remember the name of, but they had a podcast and they couldn't say micellar water, so they called it like a different thing every time. Anyway, the plan is to create dead space with the micellar water, like do the full eye, blend it out, and then do some like negative space with like erasing. And I don't think I want to do like straight lines or anything. I'm gonna like free form it and like there will be some like circles. And so this is exploratory for me. What makeup is fun and to be explored, and I cannot just do the same eye shape and do the same look every time. And so I figured I would fill maybe some of the negative space in with this blue eyeliner I have. I've pulled out some glitter. Now, every time I've pulled out glitter so far, I haven't used it, but that's the plan. That's the plan. Let's just get started. Let's get started. Do you like this top? Do you like this top? Because I love this top. It is sheer, and my girls are out. They're out, but I have you situated in such a way where you're not going to see the girls. So I do need to get some kind of like tube top situation to wear underneath this, but I also have worn sheer shirts with nothing underneath to go out before because I'm a bad bitch. I'm gonna use the Atelier eye primer. It's December 9th as I record this. As I live and breathe. It's December 9th, which means you'll see this on December 11th. which means I will be over a third of the way through messmas. I'm probably gonna do like a messmas reflection, like this project, because I have noticed, and what's like very cool about it and something that I'm very into is that we've decluttered some things. And as I get to the bottom, as the drawers get emptier and I get nearer and nearer to the items that I did not decide to pull first, there's like a big realization happening to me that these are items that I never really wanted to use, because that bounce concealer, I knew in my heart of hearts that that bounce concealer wasn't good. I was like, no, it can live in there. And it was just like, I wanted it to have it for the sake of having it. We'll probably do a like retrospective of like what happened, what did I get rid of, what did I learn, kind of thing. So that's probably something that's gonna happen. I'm getting to the end of this powder. If you like my earring, this is by a Pittsburgh earring maker. The name of her shop is Electric Cat Shop. I'll link it down below. She does some really cool like acrylic earrings, and I'm obviously very into them. 9 times out of 10 I'm wearing this or my friend who makes earrings. Her brand is Scorpaganda, but she's like she sells on Depop, or you DM her, like direct selling through Instagram, but she makes them. I will have Electric Cat Shop links below. And that was just a little bit of Laura Mercier setting powder to set the base. And we're gonna go into Pat McGrath's Mothership 1. I have done a full review on this if you are interested in my detailed thoughts on this palette, because in these videos I've kind of been like exploring things as if they're brand new to me, but I don't think I need to do that because I have done that with this already, literally this year. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw some of these shades on. I'm gonna do a gradient as I usually do. So this matte, then the black, and my favorite eye shape that I've been doing. So that's the game plan. That's where we're gonna start. So when this blouse, I guess it's a blouse, this blouse that came to me today, the way it was packaged, some of the adhesive got stuck to the shirt, and this was a final sale piece. This is like not something. And also I did no research on this brand before buying. It was like something that popped up and I was like, I would like that. And so now I have it. One of those moments, because I've mentioned this before, I don't often buy clothes, and I was like, that would be fun. That'd be fun. And the shipping was free. The cards were right. And I was like, I want that. I want that for that amount. I am very curious as to if anyone is holiday shopping. I know I've already asked this, but like I do want to know, like what have you bought? If it's safe for you to share here, if all your friends and family are already subscribed to me and it's safe for you to say these things, I would love to hear them. Oh my god, I've been talking and not recording, but I haven't gotten very far. I like got in one of those like moments where I was like, I'm just expressing feelings. Anyway, I was just saying, without you here, that it's so interesting that as a kid, like assuming that your family had the means at which to have like a holiday season, if you celebrate anything around this holiday, and they make it very special, and like how joyful it is to be like a kid at this time of year, and then as you grow up it's just like, oh, it's just stress on the other side. Like that's all it is. It's just stress. So I hate that. And I know it was magical. Not for everyone, but like even my friend who grew up as a witness, like a Jehovah's Witness, she told me that like this time of year she would even get excited even though they don't celebrate like Christmas or any holiday or like even birthdays. So that's interesting. And now she has kids and she likes this hot time of year. So I'm wondering if like, you know, people who have kids, that like you get the magic of like Christmas back if you celebrate Christmas, and you get to like, I don't know. It's interesting because I don't plan on being a parent ever. It's just not part of my life's it's not part of my life's work. Like it's not what I'm trying to do. It'll be curious if I get to live vicariously through my friend's baby. Like if I get to see and feel the magic of the holiday season again, that would be very, very cool. I don't know that that's gonna happen, but it could, and that would be fun. Anyway, I don't know why I'm on this. This feels like a very sad tangent that I've gone on. You know what I just thought of? New Year's Eve is also around the corner. And I think that often is forgotten. And I don't really like New Year's Eve. Would love to hear anyone else's thoughts on New Year's Eve. But to me, New Year's Eve is one of those holidays where it's like, there's so much pressure to like get drunk and have fun. And I couldn't tell, not that I've not enjoyed my New Year's Eve's past, like not like last New Year's Eve. We watched Next in Fashion, me and my friend, and we made a bunch of appetizers, and like it was just her and I, and that's how we celebrated New Year's Eve. And it was such a delight. But every year it's like the middle of December rolls around. I'm like, oh God, what am I gonna do for New Year's Eve? And then everyone else is planning it last minute. And then I just feel like no one's prepared for New Year's Eve ever. And so then I get invited to like a bunch of New Year's Eve parties, like late in the game. And then it's like, then I have to decide which one to go to. And this has caused distress in my life before. My friend Tiffany got married on New Year's Eve a few years ago. And I had to like tell my friend that I normally spend New Year's Eve with. It's like tradition for us to spend New Year's Eve together. I was like, I'm sorry, I can't. And then the pandemic happened. And this isn't to blame the pandemic on Tiffany's wedding, but it's not, I'm not doing that. So then I'm gonna take the gray shade, like the shimmery gray shade. I'm gonna just apply it with my finger on the outer half of my lid. And I don't think I'm actually going to use any of like the special shades from this palette. I don't think my journey with it today. And then I'm going to go in even more so into the inner corner with like the light silver lavender shade. I might go into the special shades whenever I start doing negative space stuff to like perhaps try to save this look. Whether should it go awry? Should it go awry? And I'm actually, which I never normally do with these palettes, I'm gonna use like the Skin Show highlighter shade in my inner corner. I think I'm happy with where we're at. I'm gonna set that aside, and then I'm going to squirt out some micellar water on my mixing palette. I have my pointy Q-tips, and I'm gonna just put some micellar water on the tip of the Q-tip, and like basically go ahead and try to ruin what I just did. So that was kind of thicker than I wanted it to be. I'm gonna use actually a eyeliner brush for the other eye, and I don't need them to match, like that's not the goal here. So I'm gonna put micellar water on the end of my brush. Is this cool? This is like what I was going for. And so what I'm gonna do now is I have a couple of options. So I can either fill the dead space with, what I think I wanna do is fill it with glitter. And I think I wanna fill it with the same glitter. I think I'm gonna use, this is the Chidori glitter from Slayfire Cosmetics. And I'm gonna take, this is gonna be so annoying to take off, but we are trying to do like fun, cool stuff because we're grandma. What I'm gonna do is lay some of this lash glue down. This is the Bouquet Beauty lash glue. Now there is adhesive in this glue, in this glitter, sorry, that, but the step of the lash glue is, it helps it hold it into place even better, and it'll help keep precision for me, like I know where I'm laying it down. And so whenever I need to like flick off some glitter to make a sharper edge where the glitter is, it gives me just a little bit better of a guide. It kind of looks like lightning, doesn't it? Okay, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. I'm so glad this is working. I'm sure that I'm not the first person to like do this, so I don't want to like. You know what? I think I want to do like a line coming down the center of my eyelid. I hope now it makes sense why I didn't want to do any of the special shades, because they would have been distracting. I'm so excited. I'm so freaking thrilled. You want to do different I wanted to do different cuts so that the light would hit the glitter at different angles. So like when my face would turn, you would get like a little bit more intrigue. I'm having one of those moments where I'm like, you've outdone yourself. Look at you. Ugh. I'm feeling I'm radiating joy. I'm feeling so accomplished with this, even though we're not even close to being done. What I'm gonna do now, well, a couple of things are gonna happen. I'm gonna like gently press the glitter in. I'm gonna take a spoolie. I'm just gonna drag the spoolie along the edges of the dead space and hopefully get a cleaner delineation of like where there is supposed to be glitter and eyeshadow. This eye, I feel like I did a pretty good job staying in the lines. This eye, we went on some journeys. The other thing is that because of the way that this glitter reflects, is that I can't see it all in every light. I love this. I don't know if you're into it, but like I'm feeling the vibes. I'm wondering if I should do it on my lips too. I'm gonna wash my hands real quick and then we will move on to the next step. I'm gonna use the MAC Prep and Prime Natural Radiance primer. I think I only have like one use in here. That's the end of it. We're gonna just put that on my face. It's like a little bit too much, but it wouldn't have been enough for two. It's like not cold in my room, but like my products are so cold and it is cold outside. I might just, I don't know. I might keep it to the eyes. Or maybe I'll do like a really blown out lip and like do a streak through the lip. And that would like, to tie it together. That sounds good to me. I don't want to do it on my whole face. And I can always do this again another time with my whole face. I can always like, I can always do this again at another time with my full face. So it's like, today's not the be all end all. And that's okay. Then for foundation, we're going to be using the Lancome Tenti Doll. I have the shade 210 Buff Neutral. So it has a beautiful pump. Just gonna give you some of that. This is a thicker foundation. It moves a little bit, but it's not the most mobile. To prevent more glitter getting on my face, I'm going to use a brush to apply. I'll be using the Pro Diffuser from Sephora. This has a slight SPF smell. There is SPF in this. And I believe that I think mine's expired. And I don't, as long as the foundation still performs, I'm okay with using an expired foundation, like what would be considered expired. But with foundations that have SPF in them, it's just a little bit more important to like know that the expiration date, because normally it'll be like 24 months after you open, 12 months after you open, 6 months after you open. But SPF foundations will have like a literal expiration date because the SPF is only potent enough to protect your skin in that time frame. I've always viewed this foundation as like an Old Faithful. I think it's a beautiful product. I just haven't used it in a very long time, so I'm just gonna take a quick look at my skin. Yeah, so it claims to be, the way my life just flashed before my eyes. I believe that they say this is soft matte. I've always found that I've gotten like a very good natural finish from this, not so much matte. Yeah, this makes my skin look really good. So I stand by this being an Old Faithful. So far, it looks really good. It looks really good. Oh, I didn't pull out a concealer. I think I only have one concealer left, y'all. It is the Kimchi Concealer. So I'm gonna keep this light. So let's talk about this. I hate this applicator. So it's a squeezy tube, but it has like a brush tip, just like the YSL one that I really like. Now, and this wears a little bit more, this wears more matte. The thing is, I think what's going to happen with this concealer, just talking it through, I think it looks fine. I think it doesn't, I think it's a nice, I do think it's like a nice matte high coverage concealer. However, I don't think I'm interested in using it up. And I think that's what it boils down to, is that I have such a disinterest in using it that there's just like no point in me keeping it in my collection. Like, if I was someone who really enjoys high coverage looks all the time, I would probably like this a lot more. It does remind me a little bit of the Too Faced one that I really like, but I don't know. There's something just like different enough about this that I just don't care for it. Well, it does make my under eye look a little bit creepy. I'm gonna zoom you in real quick before I powder, just without, so you can see. I mean, it's also not the worst. Like, I've definitely used, oh my god, the Tenti Dole concealer was trash, but this is much better than that. It's like a mid-range priced product, so it's not the worst concealer, but I'm gonna go ahead and like just say like definitely probably not for people, I'm not gonna say of a certain age, but like people who have concerns with their under eye. So I don't want to. I think it's worth noting that I don't think it's completely a dismissal of this product. And then I'm gonna quickly set the rest of my face with the Mercier translucent setting powder. Back into the Chantecaille powder. This is a lot of powder. I know this is a lot of powder, especially after just saying like I'm someone of a certain age who has certain conditions, not conditions, but like things that I'm looking for and not looking for. I find that these layer better. Like, I don't know. I don't use the Chantecaille blur powder to set. I use it like exclusively to blur, and I just like keep it in the center of my face, you know. I'm gonna contour with my Rodial Instaglam. You already know. I'm going to use the Hourglass Bronzer today. If you are curious on how I feel about the Hourglass Bronzer, you can look at the other messmas video, but it's a bronzer that I hold very high esteem for. Wow, I love this top. I love this top. Oh, I look so good. I love how sometimes I'll hold it back as like if I'm going to tape my face. I never will. I would never do that. Well, I would never. Let's never say never. But that's not my gig, and I don't know how to do it. But if I ever get famous enough, not famous enough, but if I ever get close to Miss Fame, I will let her tape my face. Or literally kind of any queen. Da, 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 da. Just gonna bronze the shoulder a bit. We're looking really yellow on the face and not so much on the body. For blush today, we're gonna use the KVD Vegan Beauty Rosebud Blush. It is this beautiful, like purple mauve. It's purple. It's cool leaning. And I don't have very many cool leaning blushes, so I thought it'd be perfect for today because we were using Mothership 1, which is the only cool toned Mothership palette. A couple of things. The KVD Rosebud Blush, it's super pigmented, so I tend to use something like with a lot of fluffiness in it that's really diffused because I tend to go ham on blush very easily, and I don't always mean to. Sometimes it just like ends up having to be the look because I've like fucked it up. The other thing to know about these is that these pans are removable. I don't know if you can buy refill pans on the website. I don't know if that's the case. I would imagine because they're supposed to be like a recycling brand, like that's kind of their MO. I used to have more shades of this. I got rid of them, not because I don't think this is a lovely product. It was just I had other similar shades in my collection in formulas that I liked a little bit better than this. But for today's purposes, I think this will be a beautiful blush. I do think this is a great product. It looks really good. It is matte though, and I've kind of moved away from matte blushes. With all of the things going on my face right now, we're looking a little matte. The only like not matte thing on my face is the Hourglass powder. So we're gonna really need our Lord and Savior Fix Plus to do her job today. Highlight today, we're gonna use this is Pat McGrath Iridescent Pink 003. This is in, I believe that this shade is in the trio, that highlighter trio that Pat McGrath sells on her, well, Pat McGrath sells. This was whenever it was the Skin Fetish kit. That's when I got this. But it's like this cool, like, cool toned, like duochrome pink highlighter. I think it's so pretty. And it used to live in my single eyeshadows section of my makeup collection, and I always forgot about it. And every time I use it, I always forgot how stunning it was. But we're not today. We're gonna give her her due. The next thing that I would like to do is I'm gonna do some undershadow. I'm just gonna use like the mid-tone gray in the palette, so this guy right here, and put that underneath the lid, underneath the, oh my god, not underneath the lid, but along the lower lash line. I'm going to use the Black Cur liner from Marc Jacobs. And then what I'm gonna do, I got really excited about this idea that I just had, is that I'm gonna, because I have a tier, like a line going through this eye, I'm gonna put a little bit of lash glue right here and kind of like dissipate it down. And then I'm gonna do like a glitter tier just on that eye because it has that line going through it. It's not like perfectly lined up. That was my bad. I got real excited about this idea. Oh yeah, okay. I think that was the move. I think that was a smart move. Do we have everything on? Yes, it's time for spraying. I'm gonna use my MAC Fix Plus. I think I'm gonna use McMemony today, finally. Yeah, I think that's fierce. Okay, so I'm gonna like really kind of do like a messy job. Like a little bit of a messy job. Because I want it to be like blown out. I remember swatching this, and I think it was Full Blooded, and I thought they looked very similar. On the lip, they look completely different. Because this has a little bit of like almost like a dried blood look to it. And then what I'm gonna do is take this is definitely a concealer brush, but I'm gonna like smudge out. I don't want it to be perfect. I'm not gonna lie, this shade is a little inconsistent. It's pretty patchy. Not like patchy, but I'm gonna say the color is inconsistent. I really like a messy lip. I think we're learning that pretty quickly. So then I'm gonna take my Cellar Water, and I think we're just gonna do like a zigzag. And just like we did on the eyes. There is no more uncomfortable feeling than having glitter on your lips. And that's coming from me, who's someone who often has done a glitter lip for effect. Okay, this is the final look. I think we're looking chic. We're looking gorgeous. I'm gonna zoom you in so you can see the skin. I think this is pretty cool. I don't know. It's been a true treat when I've been going through my collection to like explore makeup artistry and like have some good times just like being a makeup artist. So this has been a lot of fun. I think this look is maybe my favorite I've done so far. Even more than my drag queen killer elf. It's high time that we go through everything I used today and reflect. And the Pat McGrath palette, it wasn't really the star of the show today. That wasn't what her job was, but she was really reliable. She blended, she did everything I needed her to do, and we thank her. Again, if you want to see something more detailed, in the description box below, I will have my full review on the Pat McGrath Mothership 1 that I released this year. The Chidori glitter from Slayfire. Beautiful, gorgeous, stunning. So gorge. Happy to have used another glitter, truly. The MAC Prep and Prime Primer. Very nice. Not something I'm gonna buy. I use this up, so I'm going to, if I can recycle it, I'll recycle it. If not, I will just throw it away. But it is done. She has been used. We enjoyed our time together. And for that, we thank her. This foundation, I like this foundation. It might get decluttered soon. I'm gonna want to use it a few more times just to get my well thought feelings. I think it looks really nice on the skin, and I think it looks better from afar than up close. And also, you should never really judge a foundation like when you're like that far in it. But I do feel like I'm just like looking a little bit matte, a little more matte than I would like. And I did use a Radiant primer today, so to be determined on the fate of this one. But I didn't hate it, but I also didn't love it today. The Kimchi Concealer. I'm gonna go ahead and do myself a favor and just call it on this one. I'm gonna put this in my declutter bin, give it away to a friend or something. I just don't think this is the concealer for me. And if I want to do high coverage, I have other concealers that I like better than this. We had a great time. And I don't even think it looks truly terrible today. It's a little more matte than I would like. So gone from my collection, but baby, bye-bye. The Hourglass Bronzer, we've already used once. I'm just gonna put it back in the box. We've already used her again. The Kvd Blush, this actually was a little bit of a surprise. It wasn't as pigmented as I remember, but I think I was going in so gently that I really got to like build up a nice diffused blush. It looks really good. Full stop, I think this blush looks really good on me today. It was the right choice. It's a beautiful little product. The highlighter from Pat McGrath, also very nice. Not as high impact as I was thinking I was gonna get out of it today, but I didn't use it wet, which I normally, like if I want a real high impact with it, but it's very beautiful. It's actually very subtle. And I think with all the other things going on my face, it was accidentally the right choice. Like that wasn't why I chose it, but it somehow worked out in my favor that was good for what we were doing today. The McMemony Matte Trance lipstick from Pat McGrath. I don't know. It's a beautiful color. It's reading really well on screen, but it was a little bit inconsistent. Like it didn't stay all one shade. It was like, and I don't want to call it patchy because it was fixable, but it was just like for a lipstick that's this expensive, you know, that is the cost of a Pat McGrath lipstick, I just don't think it was as special. And I don't know that I want to declutter it because I don't have anything else like it in my collection as of right now. So I'm going to keep it around when I want to get real vampy. I wasn't completely pleased with our performance today. Okay, that's everything we used today that wasn't a staple product. So new things are in the box. Things are leaving my collection, which I'm more than happy to have that happen. Hopefully that anything that I'm decluttering and giving to a friend, my friend ends up enjoying it more than I did. The box is getting fuller. The drawers are getting emptier. We are still on this messmas use it all by 2022 journey. What a fun little trip. If you enjoyed today's video, there is a playlist that I'm doing with this, so if you want to check that playlist out, and if you also want to subscribe so you can see more content from me. As you can see, yesterday or the other day, I did post 2 videos in one day. Some of it was like more of my like commentary stuff, and then there's going to be one of these every day, but there will be videos like that interspersed. Please let me know what you think of this. Will you try this like glitter lid, or will you try this like negative space thing that I did? Again, I don't think I'm like the first person to ever do this, but it was fun to do today. I appreciate you so much for watching. I will see you in my next video, friends. Okay, so here is the box after today's video. Getting fuller, getting fuller. So this is everything that has already been cycled through. So like primers and bronzers are in here, and like I said, they're going back in to there whenever I am done. Top drawer. We finally used another glitter. We're getting down to the nitty gritty on the glitters. Not really, but I'm trying to convince myself with delusion. Another Pat McGrath palette used, which is great, which is so great. We're down to 3 foundations. Like I said, the lips, they used to be like all the way full to the back, so we're going through lips. And I guess we have 4 foundations, although I don't know what I'm going to do with that one yet. Okay, and then cheeks. Again, this is not part of it, so let's not worry about that, but I don't even remember what cheek I used. Oh, the Kvd cheek. So we are working our way through, and then highlight. I used the Pat McGrath one, which lives back there, so with a bunch of other smaller things. And then we didn't use anything from this drawer because this is not my Pat McGrath drawer.